Friends, Romans, countrymen, what is good? It is the summer, but it's your boy, Spartanzilla, aka Kwafo Adakwa, here with contributor to the site. Double L gets busy, walking you through the WNBA. You say, well, the NBA season is over. What are we going to do? NFL hasn't started. College football hasn't started. What are we going to do? What we're going to do is try to make some bread here in the summertime.
Yes, indeed.
On the WNBA, I'm a big fan. I have two daughters. They're WNBA fans. I know Double L here is a big fan. Double L, how you doing today?
I'm good, my brother. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing better as soon as we start getting through how we can win some of our folks some cash here. You know, a lot of folks were talking about the tools you've provided all through the NBA season, very successful tools. You've carried that over into the WNBA. You know, we're knee deep in there, and the All-Stars were named for the WNBA. What we wanted to do here tonight was put a living document that will stay basically up on the site to walk people through the tools we provided for those folks that are members with Zilla Sports Network. Again, ZillaSportsNetwork.com for those that are not members. You should check it out. We still are low. Inflation has hit everywhere else, but it hasn't hit ZSN for $9.99 a month or $99.99 for the year. Gets you all sorts of tools and tips like Double L's providing here with WNBA. College football is going to be ramping up before you know it. Obviously, the NFL, the NBA, when that gets back, free agency is about to start, so we're getting into that. But it's a great value to augment your sports gaming, to augment what you're doing in DFS. $9.99. It's not a lot. The folks that have been with us since the inception, almost 2 years ago now, really, I think,
which is crazy,
and seen their game go up. So Double L has lent his time, his efforts, his talents, his treasures. We're going to walk you through kind of what makes sense to be looking at, because the sheet has a lot of value to it. But hopefully over the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to walk you through what you should be focused on as you build lineups for DFS, or are you thinking about, you know, playing in those states that have legal gambling where you want to wager on the spreads or whatever, to kind of look in some of the statistics in the sheet. Does that sound good, Double L?
Yes, indeed.
All right, so he's going to go ahead and screen share so you all can see the goodness that is the sheet. I know it's a go-to for me every day when I'm trying to build out my lineups for the W. So we'll give it a second here, and you'll see that. All right.
Good, you see it?
It's coming. You know, the beauty of technology is that it takes a little bit of time sometimes with
yeah, man,
back and forth. So we'll see. And there it is.
You should have it now.
All right, Double L. So this is for tonight's slate, which is about to start now.
Still 7 minutes to get in on it.
Exactly. So walk us through, maybe let's start on that far left side where you got the player names. Walk us through what we're working with here on the left side there, please.
All right, so it's pretty straightforward. Here we have the player names. I have them color-coded based on opponent efficiency and DVP. We'll get into that in a little bit. For anything that you're ever not sure of, there's or anything I should say that's not extremely obvious, I put notes right above everything so you can see. So we'll take the hot pink players here, which is the best matchup. That means their opponent is 10th through 12th in both categories, efficiency and DVP. So bottom third of the league. So great matchup. Over here, we have positions, both DK and FanDuel, regular positions here. Team and opponent, we have pace differential here, just represented as a percentage, and color-coded. You know, obviously higher numbers will be green. Here, just a rundown of how the player's been doing. We have season, month, last 4 games, last 1 game. Same fantasy points per minute, same concept there. Then we start getting into production. This is basically just how many fantasy points they score broken down into categories. So we have points. I put assists and rebounds together. Stocks, steals, and blocks, put those together also. 3-pointers made, and then just a percentage breakdown of those numbers there. This is mainly to kind of get an idea of the player if you don't, maybe if you don't follow as closely, or you just run into a player that you're not aware of, kind of give you a little snapshot of how they produce. Then we have the scoring percentage, basically where they get their points from. So Bria Hartley, 45% of the time is scoring somewhere in the 2-point range, 40% of the time, 3-point range, 13% in free throws. Pretty straightforward. Now, here's where we get into things that I tend to pay a lot of attention to. True shooting percentage, self-explanatory. 3-point proficiency, and that is not showing up right. Give me 1 second, excuse me.
The beauty of this tool is that it is updated on a daily basis. So we're real-time updates for folks that are looking at this this tape. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. That is not showing up correctly for some reason. I got to check that. But basically, it's basically 3-point percentage. It's just calculated a different way, but it's usually a percentage point or 2 or 3 within whatever you can see their 3-point percentages on, any stat site anywhere. Just got to fix that column, not a biggie. Box creation is basically a metric. It's similar to probably potential assists now. Potential assists didn't exist back when I found this metric, but basically it kind of represents what players are creating shots for other players on their team and kind of warping the defense while doing it. So actually having a real effect on what the defense is doing or what they can do to said defense. Higher number is better. Offensive load is another metric that I came across back on nylon calculus. I still use usage, and you'll see that in the next column here. But I kind of look to this first because this number kind of actually represents what players are actually carrying the offense, both scoring and assisting. If you ever want to see what the formula is for it, I have that here if you want to take a peek. That'll always be there. That's one of those notes I mentioned before. But we'll take somebody, Kelsey Plum is a good one. So a 42.1 offensive load. She's carrying a pretty significant portion of the offense. And if you watch the W, you kind of know that to be true. Stewie is another one here, 41, 25% usage rate, high. You know she's carrying a lot of the offense. By the way, the usage will be different than what you may see anyplace else. I don't include turnovers. Regular usage rate includes turnovers. So why do we want to reward a player for turning the ball over? So I discount it from that. Assist to usage ratio is basically just the ratio of the assist percentage to players' said usage. So if you see a really high number, it means they assist at a high rate. Usage may be low, maybe high. If you get a high assist rate and a high usage, you're kind of cooking. That's something you want to pay attention to. Multiple ways of getting points. Self-explanatory, standard rebound, steal, block percentage, turnover percentage, excuse me, is a little different also, and that is not showing correctly either. Again, just calculated differently, and I have notes with the formula and some background on it. Per self-explanatory, MVP, that's actually a stat or a formula, I should say, I picked up from popcornmachine.net, which I wish they had for the WNBA. It would be beautiful. But you can look up rotations on there basically, and they kind of this impact formula on how players impact the game, and mostly counting stats. So, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks, things of that nature. So just kind of something I use in conjunction with per. A lot of times numbers will be really close. A lot of times they won't. Again, high numbers in both categories are good. Efficiency, this is basically something I was able to finally carry over from the NBA. That's from hoopstats.net, I believe it is. So I just take the opponent stats and use the formula. And I don't have a note there. I'm gonna put that there. I'll grab that formula and put that there so it'll be there in the future so you can see what that is. But that's basically just how efficient they are against the position. The W really classifies only 3 positions: guard, forward, and center. And the sites only do 2. You only get guard and forward. So you'll only see 2 numbers here for all of these for efficiency and DVP. DVP here, this section is basically, this is a percentage of what the opponent will allow at guard above the average. So the implied points is 20.82. Phoenix allows right now 7.6% more points than that average. Not a high increase. As you can see, 1.58 here. Sometimes you'll see high increases, sometimes you won't. Looks like the highest number we have here is a plus 286, which is 12%. So it's the best matchup on the board today. Right next to that, we have the average value allowed. So that's one thing that's different from the NBA. NBA, you're kind of looking for 5x. W, you're looking for 3x or better. So obviously, if you see someone, you see an opponent that allows, 3 or better, something you kind of want to maybe not necessarily use depending on what else is on the slate. You're probably going to want to, but you want to, kind of dig a little deeper and see, but that's something you might want to focus on. Team rank, just whatever the team ranks as a whole, everything combined. So we have 2 good matchups, Phoenix at 11 and Las Vegas at 12. Then we just have the DVP fantasy points per minute, just how many fantasy points per minute they allow against each position. And then basically the counting stats for each position. So they're ranking points, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks, et cetera, et cetera. Higher numbers are better. That means bottom third of the league. And that's pretty much it. I kind of try to use everything in conjunction just to make a decision on a player. Am I is that player gonna be in my pool today or not? So I focus on, like I said, this area here, rate section. Obviously I'm looking for high offensive load. I think of usage just kind of like a shot distribution metric now. So I'm looking for someone who in my mind is going to take a lot of shots. Someone who can assist well or rebound well if they're forward. And then I am just kind of looking at the DVP matchup and looking here a lot of the time as well to see, okay, well, according to this, we have Seattle last in rebounds. Okay, so I'm looking, for forwards with a high rebounding percentage. I might look at rebound differences as well. To see if to determine if that's a good matchup. And if I think it is, then, that player is going in the pool and, I'm looking to get him in my lineups. But that's pretty much it. It's just a conjunction of everything put together to kind of help you make a more informed decision about a player.
Man, Double L, yeah, this is a lot of, you giving even the secret sauce away, man. I tell you what, that's something special. You going deep into the bag, looking at the the formulas and sort of an understanding behind it. It's a very good overview in terms of letting folks kind of behind the curtain a little bit about your process. As you saw, some real-time things we're working on it here. If for our folks that are pressed with time, so many of our players, right, they don't have all day to spend on research, even for the W, which is kind of more condensed, but it's only 12 teams and such. What if I've got 15 minutes, I really want to play a slate, I've got some time, especially in light of really baseball being the only big thing right now going on, just some UFC grinders, some people still playing last bits of USFL. If I got 15 minutes, I want to play the W, I want to play it successfully for the remainder of the season. Give me 3 things you want people to be focusing on. I mean, you talked a little bit about usage and the load, which are really good factors. You talked about those rankings in terms of the team rankings as things you focus on? Are those the three factors, or anything else that, if you're pressed for time, you look at the tools we're providing here, where do you want people to focus in on with all this information?
All right. It might be a couple or more than three. The first thing I'm looking at, color of the player. And again, I have a note here that shows you what the scale is. So if I see pink or blue, I'm intrigued. Okay, that's a good matchup. Next, I'm looking at pace. If I can get a high pace differential, somebody in the faster game with more possessions, definitely want to do that, especially because there's less time in WNBA games. 40 minutes as opposed to 48 makes a big difference. Then the next thing I'm looking at is player fantasy production. I'm trying to get players with high percentages in at least points and assists and rebounds. A good player, I'm trying to think of somebody who actually plays. Chelsea Gray, good example. 40% points, 40% assists and rebounds. So she has a lot of opportunities to, create fantasy points, which of course is what we're looking for. Then next, offensive load, usage, assists. I'll peak at per and MVP, and then beyond that, just the matchups basically. I have another sheet. I don't have it on here. Where I have player minutes. That's important as well, especially in the W. Like I said, because there's less minutes, and the rotations. Like trying to figure out rotations is an uphill battle. It's one of the most annoying things about the W. There actually is a place on Add More Funds where you can actually see rotations, but sometimes it's like I said, it's an uphill battle. Somebody will play and then they won't for no reason. It's just crazy. But those are the things I look for generally if I have, a few minutes to put something together.
No, that's
player
very
color.
Oh,
God, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say it again, but no, it's cool.
Yeah, no, coding is helpful. The factors that we're looking at are helpful. We shout out, we get a lot of love for folks that Add More Funds. They do a great job as well.
Yes, indeed.
But I would say you're doing a really fine job with the work, obviously for the NBA, but also here for the W. We
appreciate it, man.
Show in terms of this tool, this set of tools carries over for NBA action as well. There's not a ton of difference. I think Double L mentioned a lot of those differences between the two in terms of minutes and whatnot. And one last question I have: are you factoring in? I think I know the answer, but are you factoring in minutes as it relates to your calculations here in the sheet to kind of deduce where play should go on a given slate? Are basically our minutes? You said it's not in the sheet, but are the minutes built into the projections here? Hold up, I think I might have mistakenly muted you. So hold on. Let's see if we can get this going. The beauties of doing this live. Go ahead and say something there, Double L. Well, let's see if we can get you. You might be able to mute yourself. Or unmute yourself. All right. Go ahead.
Got me?
Perfect. Sorry about that.
There we go. No problem.
Oh, man, I was
happens to the best of us, man.
Go ahead.
So to answer your question, actually minutes do not factor into any of these metrics.
Okay.
Like I don't use minutes to come up with any of these. Again, like I said, I have that on a separate sheet. It's not that it's not something I don't want to provide. I would be happy to give you guys my projections as well. I just don't have a way to update them throughout the day as things change. So it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
If you have projections that I can only give you at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no.
And this player gets ruled out and that player gets ruled out. It's kind of pointless.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, a little bit different between the NBA side, just because minutes are variable in the W from team to team, situation to situation, players coming in the lineup. So the metrics, I think, give you, as you've laid them out here, give you a good baseline to make some informed decisions.
Indeed.
DFS landscape, but also for those, playing at any kind of provider in the, in the betting sports world. So
yeah, help me, John. He was the one that was doing that.
Exactly.
He was using the DVP for the NBA.
Exactly. So anything else you want to leave for our audience today with respect to the product and respect to the tools? Anything we're missing? This was very, I think, helpful. There's people that have been asking for it, so I'm glad we're able to provide it. Anything you think will be beneficial as people look to build for the rest of the season and again use it for other purposes?
Well, first I just want to say thank you to everyone. I hope this video is helpful. I hope the tool itself is helpful as well. I hope it's helpful in making, helping you make decisions. As far as the W itself, it's a wild ride. There's a lot more variance in the W than there is in the regular NBA. Star players put up dead games at a much higher rate than they do in the NBA. But I mean, you basically want to pay attention to the same things: minutes, usage. You want to use offensive load here from the tool, as well in your matchups, and just go from there. Try to stay out of the bargain bin as much as you can. That's a piece of advice also. It's helpful sometimes, but not very helpful a lot of times.
Facts for life. Stay out the bargain bin when you can help it.
For real, though.
Well, that being said, I want to thank Double L for his time today. You guys have any questions, you always get at us in Discord. As far as Double L gets busy. Thank you for being proprietors and for watching and for supporting ZSN for almost 2 years now. We have more products coming for you in the fall and as we get into the winter season. So appreciate your support. And again, for Double L, this is your guy, Spartanzilla. Come join us at zillasportsnetwork.com. We're on Twitter. We're on all the different platforms. Very simple, low price to get you rolling and rocking. And hopefully we get some winners here in the W as we wrap the season. All right.
Yes, indeed.
Easy, man.